Finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Keeping It Real with Najeh Wilkins, one of your favorite high school sports talk shows. Got a lot in store for you guys today. We'll get into a couple of film breakdowns. We're going to hit basketball today as well. Got one of those in the works. Jerron Lamel from Langston Hughes. Also going to get Alex Walters of Dutchtown and then Cash Watkins of Dawson County. So those are going to be film breakdowns today. Got a little bit of housekeeping news as well in track and field. We'll talk about that, a little bit of basketball news, a couple schedule releases as well. And then in the second segment, we'll have an interview with the defensive coordinator for Allatoona, who's expected to come on. Just going to ask him some questions about the defense, a little bit about their spring schedule, and some key players we should watch for this upcoming season. And then we'll conclude with my top 10 headlines for the weekend. But let's go ahead and get into a little bit about track and field before we get into the film breakdowns for today. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with Jamari McIvory. So we've actually had him on our show. If you guys don't know and haven't seen him, go back and watch all our signing day specials from this past year. Obviously, had that in December and then in February. But McIvory was actually featured on there when he made his announcement to commit to Northern Illinois. But he's doing his thing on the track and field. So this is via Savannah Now. Jamari McIvory of Savannah Christian is the winner of the 71st Ashley Deering Award as the most versatile male high school athlete in Savannah. The senior is a star in football, track and field, and basketball for the Raiders, and he won the respected award in a vote of local high school athletic directors and media members. To be eligible for the award, an athlete must play football, basketball, and a spring sport. So he's playing 3 sports through his career and got voted by high school athletic directors and the media. McIvory, a star defensive back, has signed to play football at Northern Illinois University. He led Savannah Christian to the 3A state title game before they eventually lost to Cedar Grove. So he has been doing this thing, and it's been fantastic. In the state and track and field meet last May, McIvory won Class 3A 200 meters with a time of 21:65 and took another gold medal in the 400 meter at 48:10 as he was named All Greater Savannah Male Track and Field Athlete of the Year. On Friday, he won Region 3A crown in the 200 and 400 meters and was second in the 100 meter as he prepared to defend his state titles. He's also a standout in basketball for the Raiders, earning all region honors the past 2 seasons. So he's been doing his thing, man. Love to see that. And his quote via the article, I was surprised and happy at the same time when I heard that I won. McIvory said, "It means everything to me because all the hard work I've been putting in since I was young. I think playing different sports is important because it shows your versatility." Via their head coach, Baker Woodward, he said this. He said, "He's one of the best athletes in the state of Georgia," Woodward said. "And what separates Jamari from the others is his speed. He runs so smooth, it doesn't even seem like he's going fast. Then he just blows by everybody. In football, he led our team in interceptions and saved a lot of touchdowns with that speed. He was a great defender in basketball, and that speed speaks for itself when he's on the track." So shout out to you, Jamari, doing big things, man, on and off the field, and congratulations on the award, man. Definitely a great sight to see. So that's the first one. Had to give him a special shout out on that. And last but not least, we'll just update real quick the times. As you guys know, this weekend will be the sectionals for track and field. So some top times still on the board. We had a recent time that was set a couple of days ago, 5 days ago, at the 7A Region 2 meet. That was City Najeh in the 200 meters, setting in the new fastest time in the state at 20:67. Maurice Gleaton, who will be the standout receiver this upcoming year for Langston Hughes, he still holds the fastest time in the 100 meter at 37:24, and also City Najeh also holds the fastest time in the 400 meter at 45:49. That was set back at the McEachern Invitational April 13th. Kiari Thompson of Westlake has the fastest 800 meter time, 1:51.91. And then Tommy Latham, we've said his name numerous times on the show. He still leads in the 1600 and 1300 meter with times of 4:09.28 and 8:46.88. And last but not least, 110 meter hurdles. Dominic Northen of Woodland Stockbridge, he has the fastest time at 13:88, and Aaron Jones has the fastest time at 37:26 in the 300 meter hurdles as well. And then Langston Hughes owns the fastest time in the state in the 400, or the 4x100 and the 4x200. So they're going to be a fun team to watch, obviously, in the sectionals. And then you have Westlake with the fastest time, 4x400, and then Westminster with the fastest time in the 4x800. But that is the latest housekeeping. Again, Craig writes a great blog on AJC, just all about track. So guys, stay tuned for that. I'm sure he's going to have a great blog coming up this week if he hasn't done one already. And obviously from the sectionals from this past or this upcoming weekend. So you guys check that out. That will be a lot of fun, man. But without further ado, we got a couple film breakdowns that we're going to do on the show. So first, we'll look at Dutchtown's defensive back, Alex Walters. Really like his play, man. The first clip that you guys are going to see is going to jump off the page to you. This is physicality. And what's so cool is a lot of people will doubt you because of your size. And what's so cool, and I want to tell him this if he's watching, don't worry so much about your size. You're going to grow into, obviously, your grown man body. Go look at guys, and he reminds me a little bit of them, like the Mike Hiltons of the world, right? He went to a Georgia school. He's never been the biggest guy, right? But look at the role he's carved out in the NFL, right? He's one of the best slot corners in the NFL. Played for Pittsburgh. Now he's with Cincinnati. He went to a fellow school here in Georgia before going off to college. Look at the impact he's having. And then go look at Mike Sarenstill, right? What he was able to do for Michigan this past season, leading them to a national title. Coach Saban literally said he was one of the best players on the field. Like, he gave us fits with what he was able to do. Not a big guy, 5'8", 5'9". So I say that to tell you, man, don't worry about it. You're going to have coaches that say, oh, well, you're too small, your size, don't worry about that. Keep being yourself, stay motivated, and keep doing what you're doing, man, because this film definitely stands out. So without further ado, we'll roll it. All right, so this is the first play right here. Obviously, we slow it down. So the instincts jumps off the charts to me. Look at this right here. Boom. Completely nails him. Knocks the ball loose for a forced fumble. So to break it down right here, obviously you can tell this is zone coverage because he is responsible for the slot receiver coming down, or you could say the tight end. So as you can see right here, he knows his assignment, backpedal. He sees it already. Great instincts, and then he just drives on the football and boom, jars it loose. Big hit right there. I mean, that's excellent, and that's how you want to start off your film in your huddle. This is what coaches want to see. Can you be a difference maker? That hit is off the charts. Textbook tackling. Good job coming up. I mean, that's excellent form right there. All right, and then this is the second highlight right here. So it doesn't help, but it look like it's great coverage right here, but it kind of a good forced fumble right there. Actually, he picks it up. This is the one I was talking about. So it gets kind of cut off. This play does, unfortunately, but it looked like he was in good position. So it's a vertical route, but can't see really what happens at the bottom right there, unfortunately. But it looks like he was able to strap it up and stop him there. Right here, he's one-on-one. Boom, good job turning his head, taking away the airspace, making the pass difficult right here. And then same thing. So reminds me of the other play. So I'm going to have you go back on that one, Craig, real quick. So here, the ball is behind. So I think regardless, it would have been the same play we seen in the first one, right? A big hit, draw the ball loose, cause a fumble. But he does a good job here seeing the quarterback underthrows it, and then he drives on the football, watching right here, and nearly gets a pick right there. Good job driving, incomplete pass, nearly has a pick right there. And then right here, last line of defense, as you can see, nothing but daylight right there for the runner. But look at him get his head in there, finish off the tackle. Nice hit right there. And the same thing right here. So love this play. I think this is the one I slowed down. I'm going to have you go back, Craig, real quick. All right, so right here, pause it for me. So right here is going to be a screen play. So he's one-on-one kind of on the island. Obviously, he has a safety help right there, but he has to fight through this block of a bigger receiver right there. So he just stays relentless, which I really like on this play, and it doesn't stop, fights through the block, and then gets a big-time tackle. Minimal gain at the very least, as you can see right here. Boom, he sees it, fights through the block right there, contains the edge, and brings him down. and his teammates rally to the ball. Love that right there. And then right here, obviously you're going to see the quarterback try to get loose right there. That's against Northgate, but it's a good job just staying pat with the receiver, not allowing him to get loose right there. And now you see the versatility. He's playing a little bit of safety. Look at him driving his football right here. Good PBU right there, not going to dislodge the football, as you can see. So he is the single safety. He's responsible for those routes coming his way. It's a good job. He backpedals. Let's see what the offense is doing. Okay, I'm responsible for this guy, the slot guy right over the middle of the field. As you can see, he's going to do look like a potential corner, and then look at him come up. See it? Drive on the football, dislodge it. Excellent coverage right there, knocking the ball loose. So good coverage skills, good ball skills, being able to see what's happening. Same thing. Now, can't just play corner, also playing safety as well. So, boom, here he is right here. Look at him dislodge the football. I mean, excellent play right there. So, just knows his assignment, closes on the football really good. And then this right here, special teams play. So, can he be effective here as well? And as you can see, one-on-one, boom, look at him get in there. Nice tackle, good wrap-up. Great job right there. And then right here, he's the middle safety, one-on-one right here with the runner. Good tackle right there. If he misses that, that's a touchdown. So that's a little bit of his film. It wasn't too long, 2 minutes, but like I said, he did a great job with the first play, just showing the big hit ability that he obviously has and drawing the football loose. Very physical for his size, I think. Likes to tackle. Some guys don't like to at the cornerback spot. They want to just play coverage. So has a good mix of everything. The big hits, being able to play corner, also being able to play safety and take away the ball. And he showed his impeccable ball skills as well on a couple of those plays. Reading it, going back, getting either a PBU or a turnover. So love that about his game. And I think he's great at playing football. I think it's going to be nothing but growth for him. He's only 26, so he'll be a junior this year. I'm sure his tape is going to be even better. So no major critiques for him. Really like his tape and what he showed there. So we'll roll the next one. We'll stay with football. This one's short as well. This is Watkins, but got a chance to see him at the Nega Classic. It's only about, I think it's like, might be under a minute. So was a couple throws you'll obviously got seen here, but I like kind of what he was able to do far as, you know, with his timing with the receivers, being able to be accurate to football. He's a left-hand quarterback. I like his ability to improvise as well. It's very crucial. You got to be able to do that at quarterback. Can't just be a pocket passer. You got to be able to improvise, create plays, and you guys are going to see that on the film. All right, there we go. So the first play, as you guys can see, that was the goal ball to the receiver. Boom. There it is right there. Let him get up under it. Get a TD right there. And then here you get a little bit of read option. Nice throw yet again right there to the outer boundary. Good jump, go ball. Let the receiver go get it. And then right here, as you see, moving to the left, here's the improvisation. Looking downfield. Takes the contact. Good throw downfield yet again. And then right here, one-on-one. Good throw over the middle of the field. Let the receiver get up under it. Good, accurate target right there. And then now this play is one of my favorite. Obviously, like I said, it's short. But, guys, he's only a freshman. And I'm going to have you re-roll this one, Craig, if you can. All right, pause it right here. So, obviously, this is just, you know, getting your reps in, which is very important for quarterback. But I like, again, the ball placement that he has on this throw with the receiver, right? As you see, the guys are coming over. He has the one going out. Look at where he drops the ball for this corner route. Boom. Only where he can get it on the outside. Let his receiver drag his feet. Love that throw right there. I mean, that's excellent. See, just right in the shooter's pocket. Love that. And this one just right over the middle of the field. Good throw yet again. Hitting them in stride. Letting them do their thing. So the clips are short. And again, remember, guys, he's only a freshman. So he played JV this past year. Had a pretty good year. He threw for 7 touchdowns, 2 rushing. He had a 69% completion percentage. Goes back to what I said about his accuracy and over 700 plus yards. So, again, you'll probably see this upcoming year, you know, potentially him vying for a spot as a starter, more film. Because I tried to look and see if there's any, you know, huddle or anything like that. But most of it was on his YouTube channel. So go check him out on YouTube at Watkins. But again, what stands out to me, just some few short clips the accuracy of the football, his ability to improvise as well, the confidence that he kind of plays with as well. And I like that he's a pretty quick decision maker. Like, he knows where he's going with the football. He doesn't wait. He knows where his read is supposed to be, and he lets his receiver, especially in those goal balls you've seen with the coverage on his YouTube, let them go get the ball up in the air. So love that about his game. I thought that was special as well. So I think you got a bright future. Again, I hope you're watching, Cash. Send me your stuff, especially when you have it up on Huddle or you have it a little bit longer, because I want to give a full breakdown of everything. But those are the things that stand out to me: the accuracy, improvisation, quick decision making as well, and his confidence. But I want you to definitely send your tape when you have a little bit more, so I can give a more in-depth analysis. But well on your way, man. All right, so we got one more before we call the head coach, or call the defensive coordinator, I should say, for Allatoona, and that is going to be basketball. So I finally seen one. I wanted to break this down. I think Craig's going to be impressed with this one as well. But this is Langston Hughes, Jerron Lamel. Man, watch this tape, man. I mean, this kid can play. All right, so the first couple clips, guys, y'all going to see, it's just him getting to his spots on the floor right here. Good catch point, squaring up, easy money shot. Same thing. Catch point, rising up, good fluid release. Same thing right here. Wide open, squaring up his feet, knockdown shooter. And then right here, the defense over pursues, wide open, no hesitation, easy money tray. And then boom, right here, defense, falls asleep, he's gonna knock it down. Same thing, getting to his spots, same thing. So love his mid-range, love his shooting ability. And this one, like this one right here, just squares up right with the basket, easy one right there. And then this one is the one we slowed down. So love this play right here. Watch this, y'all. So that's a good job. Pause that for me, Craig. So it's a weak box out by 24, as you guys can see. He didn't get him completely out of the play. So he goes up, gets the rebound, and you see a little bit of his paint game a little bit. So as he grabs it right here, let him square up. 1, 2, let me turn around. Can I see the defenders there? I'm going to show you my jump shot game right there. So he has that mastered, in my opinion. The turnaround, Jay, that's one of his best parts of his game and his mid-range game as well. See right here, one dribble. See the defenders coming up. Let me turn around, fade, easy money jumper. So learning about his game. And then right here, okay, the post game. Boom. So I had this actually go real slow. So look at him go, get to a spot. Here comes the help. Too late. So he shows that he also has a paint game as well. Barely getting the post. Right here, you're just too small. Back you down. Get to the post as well. And then right here, you're seeing a little bit of the defensive prowess. Right? Can he defend at a high-end level? And I think that's where he's going to be, obviously when he goes to college. Only 2025, but has some freakish athletic ability. Same thing right here. Get that out of here. Big-time block yet again. So, boom. Pause it for me, Craig. Look at the rotation, right? I'll have you go back just a little bit. Let's see. Yep, keep going. Pause. So, as you guys can see, so it's a screen right here. Great screen set by the defender, but as you can see, this is what college coach is going to ask: can you be a weak side defender and help? So he's about a good 6'7". So as you see, he can come over and defend the rim. He's a pretty good shot blocker, elite rim protector as well, as you guys can see right here. Boom, get that mess out of here. Same thing, get that mess out of here. So he can rotate, he's athletic. Obviously he can shoot at a high-end level as well. And then right here, love this. So pause this for me, Craig. So boom. So you see a little bit of everything here. I love this right here. So he's out on the wing, right? He's gonna, pivot, jab step a little bit, and he's gonna get to his spot on the floor. Watch this play. So boom. Let me see what the defense doing. Jab. All right, boom. We get to my spot right here. Go to the paint. Here comes the defense. Don't matter. I'm gonna still get to my spot and knock it down. And then right here, look at this backline cut. I mean, excellent cut right there. All right, we slowed it down. Pause it for me. So this is another question college coaches have when you look at basketball, right? You're not going to always have the basketball. That's another thing I didn't mention about his game. As you guys can see, he's not over-dribbling, right? This is a thing for players to know. When you watch the tape, he's not over-dribbling. He can move without the basketball. He can get to a certain part of the floor, and he can knock it down. Watch the backline cut right there. Boom, right there. Defenders behind me, I'm going to lay it up easily. And something I failed to mention earlier, but those shots he's taking, catching it, going. No waiting. Right here you see the steal, gets it back, easy layup right there, or easy dunk I should say. And then right here, look at him get the ball, let him throw it down court. Nice outlet pass, easy dunk right there. So he doesn't wait. He knows what he's doing, protecting the rim yet again. Same thing, protecting the rim. Love it. Elite rim protector right there. Get into a spot on the floor. They're too small. I'm going to get in there. Oh, I love this one. So the recovery on this play is exquisite. I mean, all right, pause it for me, Craig. So the defender gets him right here, right, with the behind the back, right? But look at him recover. Okay, boom. So he got it. So the offensive player, right, has a little bit of space. But look at how he recovers. Gets back, sees where he's going. He's going up. Look at him snatch the ball from him. That's a snatch, y'all. And get the ball back to his team. That's excellent on-ball defense right there. So not only is he a rim protector, but he's an excellent on-ball defender as well. Boom, and then right here, boom. Looking to bait the defense. Wait. Boom. As you guys can see, he has the passing as well, the playmaking ability. Gets to his teammate, easy layup right there. And then boom, look at the defense right here. Boom, get that out of here. Good recovery again. So he can chase down block as well. See, I mean, he's defending the rim at an elite level. And then right there, boom, easy pass in the inside. So that is his tape. I honestly, I really like. I think it's elite. Again, 6'7", plays for Langston Hughes. They had a pretty good run this year, but he can do almost anything you ask him. He's a good on-ball defender. He's an elite rim protector. When you go back and look at the film, I know you guys say, oh, well, he was taking a lot of shots, and you know he was shooting the ball a lot. But he's an efficient shooter, right? He don't take a lot of dribbles. You go and look at that film. It's 1-2. He's getting to his spot and he's shooting the basketball, right? There's no hesitation to his game. He can guard the other team's best opposing defender. He can protect the rim, and then he can shoot it at a high-end clip. And he's unselfish and a good playmaker as well. Can get the ball to the other team. So I mean, to his teammates. So love his film, man. And definitely a player to watch this upcoming year in 2025 class. So can't wait to see, what he does. But we're gonna take one quick short break, thank our sponsors, and be back on the other side.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation. Unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
All right, guys, welcome back. So on this next side of the segment, we are going to bring on the defensive coordinator for Allatoona. I'm about to give him a call right now to talk to him a little bit about the Buccaneers. So give me one sec, guys. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good. How about yourself?
Doing good. I appreciate you coming on today.
Oh, thanks for having me. Really excited.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Coach, obviously, before we get into Allatoona, I just want to ask you a little bit about just your journey as a coach. Kind of how did you get to this point, coaching the defense for Allatoona? What kind of led up to this point for you?
Well, let's see here. Long story short, I guess this is the best way to put it. I'm actually not from Georgia. I'm from outside Philadelphia. So I had a really good high school football career. I played for Mike Pettin Jr. up there, who ended up being the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. And then kind of got out of it during college because, D3 was really expensive. We had a one-income family, so I couldn't afford to pay for D3 to play because I joke around with everybody. I say I'm vertically challenged because I'm 5'10". And and then I ended up kind of putting it down for a little bit, and then later decided, when I was trying to get my PhD, that I didn't really like it. And then when I fell into teaching and coaching in Louisiana, so I started out back in '07 in Louisiana, coaching there at a school named Christian Life Academy, which was great. Had a lot of great opportunities and really great experience, young. And then moved to Georgia, and then basically got into Hebron Christian because I wanted to go to public school. So I did like that 1 year, continued to do private, got into public school. Then it was at South Forsyth, Riverwood, and then I had a really great opportunity to go to Walton. So I was at Walton for 5 years as a special teams coordinator, D-line coach. And I've been a defensive coordinator before Walton. I was a DC for over half my career, so I've been doing it for a long time. But then went to more of the special teams coordinator role at Walton, and just wanted to get an opportunity back into calling defense and running my defense, and got an opportunity I couldn't pass up to go to Harrison for the last 2 years. And obviously we were really successful. You know, last year being in the top 10 in 7A in defense was great. And we were on the field a lot. You know, we were averaging, I think it was over 65 plays a game, and we were still the number 10 scoring defense in 7A. So which was great. And then what happened is obviously Coach Cassidy, you know, things didn't work out, and he got let go. And then I was looking around and basically got a massive opportunity to come over here to Allatoona. Really, really excited about it. I'm excited to work with Coach Smith and his staff, and it was one of those where, for me, a lot of people don't know this about me, like, because I've coached now for 17 years, pushing 18 years, so almost 2 decades. And out of all of those years, I've only worked for one offensive head coach, and it was for 1 year when I was at Hebron. That was it. So everybody else has been a defensive head coach, so it's a huge opportunity. I'm really excited to work for an offensive head coach where I get a little bit more autonomy, you know what I mean, to run the defense. So I'm really excited about it.
No doubt about it, Coach, and I appreciate you sharing your journey and kind of a little bit about your story. So when you're coming over, Coach, obviously you have a plethora of experience. What are some kind of things you have to, like, implement or just have coming over to a new school to kind of resonate with the guys?
Well, the big thing first is I get into the film. I try to get on huddle as fast as I can and start watching to see kind of what we want to do, if what we have personnel-wise matches up with what I would like to do. You know what I mean? And what adaptations do I have to make? Because the thing is, everybody has a system, and the question is, like, can you adapt your system to your players, right? You know what I mean? So, and the first thing that I saw right away, and Coach Smith already knew it because Coach Smith was watching our defense from Harrison when we were talking, right? And I think just what we were already doing at Harrison marries so well with what we're going to do here at Allatoona. Like, we have some defensive linemen that I think are going to be able to move and fly around. People like Colin Fields. He was number 88 last year. The numbers might change, but Colin Fields can fly around. People like J.J. Coleman. So I think we have that D-line that can move. And we're sending pressure in you know, the system of our defense. We're sending 4, 5, 6 at times, and we're getting after you and sending from all over the place. So it's just one of those things where I get into the film first and then try to figure out if everything matches up. Then what I try to do is go through and figure out how am I going to install this and what are my goals for spring, right? So I get into there, okay, what are our goals for spring? How do we get there? And then what I do then is, okay, how can we do meetings before spring? Because obviously it's a battle being at one school teaching during the day and then coming over here to Allatoona, right, to try to at least be ready for spring. So the first day is in a total mess. You know what I mean? So we had our first day yesterday, and actually went really, really well considering. And what I did was I talked to Coach Smith, and he was all for it. Like, we just did some morning installs where I kind of, like, split the defense up, wanted to show them what the spring install was, shared it on huddle, came on over here, and I met, I think it was like 6 or 7 times with the players. We got here like 6:30, and I got out of here by about 7:30, hightailed it in my truck over to Harrison and taught, you know what I mean? So just trying to get the players just accustomed to what we're going to do. But then obviously the spring is kind of get it down into those digestible bites so we can build from here. You know, just get those base blocks and bricks built.
No doubt about it, Coach. And then for you, just a curious question: how much film do you usually watch, like a day?
Oh, me? A day? Oh, geez. Oh, it depends. So for me, like, especially when we were first looking at the transition, I'm probably watching, if I can, 3 hours, you know, maybe a day. But then, you know, obviously it's like, then I feel like I kind of figured it out, then I'll kind of cut off. Because the thing is you do get into diminishing returns. You know what I mean? I teach economics, and you can't just keep watching and watching and watching and watching and watching. So, but what I do is I try to find, like, people that I know. Like, great example, like, a really good film for us was, you know, like, when I know people, like, I know Walton played Pope. Like, so great example, I'm watching a ton of that Walton Pope film for spring because I know what Walton does. I know when they do things, this is like what I want to do. So I'm able to look at that, right? And then same thing with Allatoona. Like, when I'm going through our film from last year, I know, like, what opponents I think will match up with what we're going to I pay really close attention to that. Also, it's a good opportunity to watch some of the offense, you know what I mean, too, and get to know the whole team. So I ended up watching a little bit more offense than I normally do of, like, the team I'm currently on. And I'm actually really excited because I think our offense is going to be pretty darn dynamic next year. So, but yeah, some days it's a lot, some days it's not as much,
No doubt about it, Coach. And then for you, how important are those meetings? Obviously I'm gonna ask you about it with the coaches, but just with the players, let's start there. How important are those meetings and just being able to, like, I know obviously different generations. Sometimes you have to, for each player, you almost have to talk to them in a different way. But how important are those meetings to kind of, let the players know what their assignment is, what they're supposed to be doing as you prepare, obviously, as you said, for the spring?
Yeah, well, my biggest thing, though, too, is, like, especially whenever there's a transition, I always start off with, like, the X's and O's are important, but the truth is what's more important is what's the culture of your defense, right? So for me, like, we have our core values and our defensive philosophy. Like, our defensive philosophy is we're going to ball down, ball out. That's something that I've gotten from the former DC at Walton. He's over there coaching D-line, Tim Ewing, and we're going to ball down, ball out. You're going to put the ball down any place, anywhere, anytime, and we're going to play, right? I don't care what the situation is. Our job is to win, get the ball back to the offense or score, right? So I start off day one with here's our philosophy, and then we get into our core values. So our core values are be a man of character, right? Be honest and trust, okay? Project positive energy, extreme ownership, and then good things happen to those who run. So when I started off day one, like, I spent almost the whole time I was in there talking about what that means and how football, like what we're doing here for football is great. That's the immediate gratification. But what I care about is, are you going to be great men when you're older, right? Mm-hmm. And my biggest thing is building that relationship from go. Because the truth is everything's relational, right? And the thing is I really do care about our players and what they do and what they're like years and years from now. Like, I want to hear what type of fathers they are, what type of husbands they are. And if we're helping build our players that way, that's great. And I realized, because I made the mistake, like, earlier in my career, I had an opportunity at Riverwood when I was there to be the interim head coach, and I was. And what happened was because we were so worried about the spring, the position was kind of dropped on my desk last minute because of the circumstances, and I got so focused on wanting to be successful in the spring because I wanted to be a head coach, you know what I mean? And what happened was I think I got too focused on the X's and O's and not enough on instilling a culture and having the players understand this is what we're about, right? Because the X's and O's are big, but like, if your players go out there, like defense, if you tackle well and you run around like your hair's on fire and you pursue well, you're going to be a good defense regardless of what your X's and O's are, right? So first thing is that relationship. And then for me, like, great example, we started practice yesterday. We did tackle circuit first thing. Because, again, and today's going to be pursuit first thing. Because if you pursue well and you tackle well, you have a massive advantage over everybody else, regardless of the X's and O's.
Yeah, Coach, that's definitely a good point. Definitely going to need that defensively, as you said, being able to wrap guys up and being in pursuit to the football, all hats to the football. But for you, Coach, just talk kind of just the communication. How important is that to have that with your defensive coaches, and being able to, talk every single week, talk every day, and being able to know kind of what each other is almost thinking out there. So when it comes game time and it comes those Friday nights, kind of, what to do and things like that.
Oh, exactly right. We've got a great example with the coaches. Like, we've already been meeting. We've been meeting, I think we've already done 3 or 4 Sundays where we sit down, look at the scheme, talk, get to know each other, talk about what we're doing each day. And it's like that communication's open. Like, first thing I do right away is reach out to them, get a group chat going, get to go and get going with them. But also, whenever I first start, like, every year I do this, regardless of the staff, regardless of where I am, like, we always start with what's your why? Like, why do you do what you do as a coach? Because that tells me what makes you tick, right? And I want to know what makes you tick, right? And then basically, because my job, like, and I say this all the time, and I'm being honest, like, it's not just to develop players or myself, it's also to develop coaches. So the thing is when I have my coaches come in, like, what I want to do is I want to know their goals. I want to know what's going on with them, because then when it comes to Friday night, like you're saying, and I say it all the time, like, I really don't give a crap whose idea it is. If it's going to work, we're going to try it, right? But I don't want you sitting there not offering that up and not sharing that because you're worried that I don't value your opinion, or if I don't think highly of you. It's like, no, I want open communication. I want to know what you think. And there's many times where, like, and this happened all the time when I was in Harrison, where I have my young coaches, and I'd be thinking something, and I'm not sure. And like you know how you get that feeling in the back of your head where you're just like, I think I should call this, or I think we should do this. And all of a sudden somebody goes, hey, let's try this, and you're like, I was thinking the same thing. And bam, you do it, and it works, right? And that's the thing is when you create that open discourse with your coaches, and then that open communication, you can feed off of each other, and it's about using each other's expertise. I tell them all the time, I ain't perfect. I don't know anything. I don't know not anything. I don't know everything. You know what I mean? And I tell them it's like, and I'm going to rely on you guys to help. And I said, but you have to offer that stuff up. And I said, and I really don't care who gets credit for it, right? So my thing is I just definitely want to build that communication from jump with them. And then we had meetings, like, great example, we had our first practice in the first week in spring. Like, we'll meet more than we normally do just to make sure we're on the same page so we can do some adjustments. So after practice yesterday, we went for a good 20 minutes, and we're just like, hey, let's make these adjustments for tomorrow. What do you guys think? How do you think today went? So it's just keeping the lines of communication open.
No doubt about it, Coach. Sound like you're building something special there, especially with the coaches in the program. And then speaking of that, Coach, who are some players we should watch defensively? I know you just mentioned 2 D-line guys, but, you know, who should we watch for?
Well, like I said, definitely Colin Fields is definitely going to be one to watch. He's D-end, extremely dynamic. He's going to be a senior this year. He was a beast last year. Like, I think they were playing Woodstock and had 2 sacks that helped him win the game. I mean, it was huge. And he's just that kind of rangy kid that's so quick off the edge that I don't think people can deal with. And we're going to have some ways to use his speed to help him out and to continue to help us out. But he's extremely explosive. Then J.J. Coleman, another D lineman, like I mentioned earlier, he's going to be a junior. And the big thing with him is he's actually the guy who broke down our first spring practice yesterday because his off season has been phenomenal, right? So he's been working a lot on his fast twitch. He's been moving more. And the thing is he was killing it at practice yesterday, and we can't wait to see what he does. So put him at DN, like having 2 dog DNs is huge in this system that we have. So, and then in the back end, it's going to be Josh Pardue is a returning senior. He's going to be moving from corner to safety, but basically he's going to be like that back-end quarterback of the defense, you know, and we're really looking forward to see what he can do because he's so physical. Like, he just flies downhill when he gets that low hat read, and he's going to knock the bejesus out of you, you know what I mean? And he's just one of those guys where he's just got that little chip on his shoulder, so it's going to be fun to see how he does. And then we have some really young talent, too. Like, that's the thing, too. Like people don't know a lot about our young guys. Like, we have an inside linebacker, Mike Odenjor, who was a true freshman last year, who started 2 games as a true freshman, and in the Sequoia game, he had 17 tackles. And the kid's just physical, rangy, he flies around, and he's so well suited for what we do with our defense that it's uncanny. And so I really can't wait to see what he does, and he's just going to be a sophomore, you know, so, and that's just scratching the surface. And the truth is I'm just still getting to know everybody, too. You know what I mean? You're building relationships and getting to see everybody, getting to know everybody, but it's great when you have your first spring practice, and I think we had 86 kids out there. So, which is awesome, and we were missing 10 guys that were still track. So the numbers are there, and we're really excited.
No doubt about it, Coach. And then, obviously, you mentioned one of your underclassmen. I was going to ask you just, you know, I know you got a bunch of guys still learning their names, but, you know, who are some other, like, underclassmen, maybe defensive line or, you know, in the back end we should watch for as well?
So, well, in the back end, that's the thing is we have 2 really good corners coming back. I just think we just had that nucleus of young guys that are coming back in. Like, I think we have Duckworth, who's the defensive lineman. He's going to be really good, too. So it's just that young nucleus coming up. And the thing is when you have a young team like last year where a lot of kids played, it's great having them all back because they have that experience on the field. You know what I mean? So it's great to see. And I'm also excited about offense and those things, too, with our running backs coming back. So it's going to be a big thing.
No doubt. And then, Coach, what do you think, in your eyes, will just determine this team's success this season, whether it's offensively, defensively? What do you think is one of those key things that's going to, you know, help this team turn around from, you know, obviously a rough season, 2-8 last year, but a team that's very talented, as you've mentioned, just to get back on track and make the playoffs?
Well, the thing that's interesting is I think, like, I'll speak to defensively. You know what I mean? Defensively, when I was watching the film and everything like it, there's a couple tweaks here and there and just a little change in philosophy, and I think we're going to be really good, you know, and I'm really excited about that. And I think just like overall as a team, it's always, for me, it's always about playing complementary football, right? like, we got to go out there and recognize our role and ball down, ball out on defense, and we got to get the ball back to the offense. And we already know the offense's goal is to score. And as long as we're stopping them and they're scoring, we'll be in great shape. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of it for me is that complementary football. And what it is also is just flying around and getting after it. You know what I mean? And I think if we do that, we have all the talent and the speed that we'll be in really good shape.
No doubt. Well, last question, Coach. I'll let you get out of here. Just obviously spring ball, as you said, started yesterday. So kind of what does the rest of the schedule look like for you guys? Will you guys be scrimmaging another team, or will you guys kind of do an inter-squad scrimmage?
So we're going to be playing Pope either on the 16th or the 17th. So it depends kind of on what happens with their baseball team. So, but right now we're scheduled to play the 16th against Pope over at Pope. So, and then we're practicing today, giving the guys kind of the rest of the weekend off, and then we're practicing, I think, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday next week, and then we're doing an inter-squad scrimmage on the 11th, and then we're doing Pope prep, I think, the 13th, 14th, and 15th. So, because, you know, you only get those 10 pad practices. So, but it's going to be a really good opportunity for us to hopefully go out there and showcase all their hard work in the off season. And the biggest thing, to be honest, one of the biggest things that's impressed me is just the strength and conditioning program here at Allatoona. Like, Coach Mullins does a great job. He's one of the best strength coaches I've seen. He's using all the Titan bands and those things and that technology to help us out. And I'm just really excited to see all the players' hard work in the off season show off on either the 16th or the 17th.
No doubt about it. Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time today to come on the show and give us a little bit of intel on Allatoona, Coach. And good luck the rest of the spring practice, and obviously good luck coming up next season, and appreciate you.
All right, thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. You too. All right, guys. So there goes defensive coordinator Fran Mahan of obviously Allatoona. Appreciate him coming on, just giving a little bit of intel about the defensively. Again, team that has a lot of good upside. Was 2-8 last year, but definitely having him kind of come over from Harrison. Harrison had a really good year last year defensively as well. Had some dogs on the field, so I think he's going to bring just a different kind of mindset mentality to that Allatoona defense. And obviously very excited about the offense this upcoming season, but I think he's going to be able to add a lot to it. All right, guys, so we'll keep rolling. I'm going to get into quick basketball news. Roy Welsh officially stepped down as the head coach of Langston Hughes basketball. We just did a television tape or film breakdown on one of their players. Via his own Twitter, he said, as of today, I've officially resigned from my position as head boys basketball coach and an assistant AD at Langston Hughes High School. I want to personally thank every stakeholder that invested into our program over the past 12 years. Your unwavering support of Langston Hughes Hoops has established the Panthers as the premier boys basketball program in Georgia, or as a premier boys basketball program. A big special thanks to all of my current former players, their parents, and my coaching staff. I would truly miss what we built. So there it is. There will be interesting to see who they're going to replace, because obviously he was a phenomenal head coach. We had him on the show earlier this year, and a team that he won a state championship with as well. So can't wait to see who's going to replace him and see what his next journey is, because he's obviously a great coach and he can lead teams to, you know, different ranks and stuff like that. So can't wait to see kind of what happens and what's the next step for his career as well. So that's the latest news there. We'll switch real quick to lacrosse. Got to give a shout out to Fellowship Christian lacrosse. The middle school boys, they just went 14-0, undefeated for back-to-back seasons. They are the Metro 10 League champions. So they've been doing their thing. And again, it's important note to watch, because Fellowship Christian is usually pretty good in lacrosse, obviously on the varsity level. So they got the young guys already playing at the high-end level, and these guys are going to be playing eventually varsity lacrosse here pretty soon. So it'll be interesting to see which of these boys will be on the team next year playing for Fellowship Christian and potentially having big roles for the team. But obviously they're very good, so wanted to give them a shout-out on the show. But we'll keep rolling. Obviously, you guys know big action. Semifinals are this weekend for lacrosse, so we had action all across. And I just want to react to that. So North Paulding is moving on in 7A. They defended the defending state champions in a very closely contested matchup. 10-9 went down to the wire, and North Paulding remains undefeated. So they're having their stellar season, and they are going to face against the winner of Buford Milton. Buford beat Milton 14-7. So that semifinal matchup should be very intriguing between those two teams, North Paulding and Buford. And then Walton advanced past Harrison 13-7. And a great matchup between those two teams. Let's see, I might have the Okay, that's the girls one. We'll keep rolling. All right. So they were able to win that, and then you also had Lambert beating Marietta 14-1 in the quarters to advance. So I think that Walton-Lambert matchup is going to be very intriguing. We'll talk a little bit about it off air, but interesting to see if Walton, obviously they got some guys on the team, a couple guys that made third team all attack, but will they be able to score those goals against a very feisty Lambert team who obviously, I think they're coming and trying to, win it all. Last year made it to the state championship before losing to West Forsyth. So they just look like a team on the collision course back to the state final. But Walton is not going to make it easy. Walton is 18-2 this year, having a phenomenal year. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top between those two teams in the semifinals actually tomorrow. So can't wait to see that. I think 7A might have the best matchup as far as the semifinals with North Paulding, Buford. Buford's been good all year, and Walton and Lambert. I mean, I think those matchups are must-see TV. And on the other side, there's one that's in the top 10 headlines I'll talk about a little bit later. But we'll talk about Alpharetta Cambridge. Alpharetta came on top and advanced to the semifinals after defeating them 13-4. Then you have Blessed Trinity beating Lassiter 13-4 to advance. The defending state champions, they've been doing their thing. And then North Forsyth ended up falling to Centennial. Centennial's been having a surprising run so far, so that should be an intriguing matchup between those two. Blessed Trinity is one of the best programs in the state as far as boys lacrosse, so they will face them in the semis tomorrow. And then, last but not least, you have Wesleyan advancing past Fellowship Christian in the quarterfinals 12-5, and you have Stars Mill advancing past Benedictine 14-4. Stars Mill's been having a great year. They've been in my top 10 in the rankings the past 5 weeks, so they've been doing their thing. And then Westminster advanced past Lovett in a very close contested matchup, 9-6. And Oconee County advanced past North Oconee, 7-6 in that one, between the battle between those two very close teams. Excuse me. So that would be the matchup there: Wesleyan Stars Mill, and then Westminster Oconee County. All right, so that is the latest in lacrosse. Let's see if there's any other quick news. Oh yes, so we gotta go back to football. Just thought about it. We have a couple schedules in there. Well, obviously we'll look at Roswell's first and pull that up for you guys. But Roswell has a very interesting schedule. Let me see if I can find it on my end. My notes are all over the place. Good. All right, we'll go ahead and pull it up. I couldn't find it on my notes. All right, but here we go. So Roswell announced their official schedule release, obviously, this past week. So it's an intriguing schedule. They're going to start off with, looks like, a game against Hebron Christian on August 16th, and it looks like they're going to play Walton on August 30th. I think that's going to be an intriguing matchup between those two, not too far apart from each other. Then they're going to play Buford on September 6th. That's an intriguing matchup as well. And then they got Westlake, the Lions, who's expected to have a better year this year. Then they're going to get into the region schedule, so pretty tough out-of-region opponents. Then they're going to play the region schedule against Seconder, looks like Johns Creek, Chattahoochee, Lanier, Gainesville, and then Milton. So what stands out to me, I think, obviously, we know in 5A that who is going to be as far as like the heavy favorite, and we know that's going to be Milton, right? They're going to be the heavy favorite going in, but teams you don't want to sleep on, obviously Gainesville, you don't want to sleep on Hughes as well, but I think Lanier is going to surprise some folks this next year, and I definitely think they are a playoff team. They got a really great coach, Tyler Maloof. I'm actually going to try to get him on the show here pretty soon, but I think they're going to have a very underrated year and surprise some folks this year. But the outer region schedule stands out to me. Walton, obviously, they're not going to have the same talent that they had in years past. Obviously, with Jeremy Hecklinski, Hunter Till, Wyatt Sonderman, Cameron Lloyd, Jordan Van Bride. But I think they have the coach that can do more with less. And I think this year, obviously, they're going to have some pieces coming in that's going to be exceptional. But I can't wait to see who's going to be their lead tailback, because they're going to lose the two guys that rushed for over 1,000 yards, Makari Bodiford and then their other running back. But who's going to be their leading rusher this year? I kind of know what they're going to look like as far as their weapons, which they did a good job of. Drew Cascone, obviously going to have Christian Ward coming in as Dylan Ward, his younger brother. So I think they're going to look good there, but I just want to see how many wins they can get to. And if Coach Bruner can get this team to 7 and 8 wins, maybe even more than that. I think that's an outstanding job from him, just to point that out. So that's an intriguing matchup between those two. And then you play Buford, right? We know what Buford is. We know how talented they are year in, year out. So that game should be really intriguing as well, going up against them. And then you go up against Westlake. We know how talented they are. Obviously, a new coach in Coach Mitchell. But a team you have to keep an eye out on to see what they're able to do. And I think we're going to learn, Craig, very early on is in the 7-on-7s with Westlake. Can they, vie for a potential, getting into the championship bracket? Because we've seen it this past year. If you guys don't remember, we had our Georgia Tech 7-on-7, and teams that went deep was like Cedar Groves, Douglas Counties. And these are teams that made deep runs this past year, semifinals or to the finals and winning it all. So that's going to be interesting to see with them. And then as far as the region schedule, obviously I think Lanier, Johns Creek, obviously has a new coach in there, so got to see what happens with them. Seconder obviously has a good coach. Craig had their head coach on. See what they're able to do. They've been doing great in other sports, but as you said, with a football team, it takes time. But that would be an interesting team to watch. But the last three is going to really tell it all for Roswell. Lanier, Gainesville, Milton will tell us a lot that we need to know. And
Seconder has Cam Robinson's little brother.
Cam Robinson, really?
Yeah.
Okay, great note by Craig. So Seconder has Cam Robinson's little brother. Still running back?
Yep.
So that would be an interesting story to watch as well. But we know what it comes down to Roswell. It's the rivalry. It's between them and Milton. And Milton has been handing its home the last few years. Now, Roswell's loaded. They got some players as well on both ends of the field. Saquon Smith has been blowing up in his recruiting as well, getting more offers. They got an outstanding offensive lineman, Andrew Stargell, who's also been blowing up in recruiting. So can they finally get their get back? I think it's going to be the question at that last game of the regular season. So that's their schedule. That's my thoughts. I think it should be entertaining. Obviously, they have a good team pretty much year in, year out. But we will see. And then the final one, for whatever reason, it went load on the back end. But I will just take a look at it real quick and talk about it. And that is going to be North Atlanta. So they announced their schedule also this week as well via their North Atlanta Sports Booster account, North Atlanta BC. And they're going to have a spring game against Arabia Mountain, who's going to have a new head coach, but had a stellar year last year, have a lot of great talent as well. And then they're going to have a fall scrimmage against Westminster. And then I think, man, you got to get your popcorn ready. And that's going to be on Wednesday night. They're going to play at Kell High School and play in the Corky Kell Classic. So that's going to be a matchup to kind of watch for. Obviously, last year, Wednesday was a tough day. But I think this year it's going to be really entertaining to see them match up in the Corky Kell and go up against a different team. Obviously, some of their players, Salim Davis, Ian Reynolds, are going to be ones to watch for them. Got to find out a little bit more about the playmakers and see what they're going to have this upcoming year, losing so many players, Darius Malcolm, Demetrius Barnes, some of those talent players. But then they're going to play Paulding County. They're going to play Wheeler, who looks like they're going to have a better year this year. A lot of loaded talent. Marcus Romaine, their running back, who I did a film breakdown on as well. And then they have Forsyth Central, South Forsyth, Alpharetta on the road against them September 27th. Then they have Lambert, North Forsyth, West Forsyth, and then Denmark. So they're playing a lot of teams up this way, Alpharetta and Forsyth teams this upcoming year. So the region looks a little bit different. Obviously, you have to see how Forsyth Central, South Forsyth looks. But I know Alpharetta is going to be a team to watch as well. But Marcus Sleddy, obviously Ashton Moore, Julius Holly. So they should have some interesting pieces as well. Lambert, and it looks like, Craig, actually, that Cameron Bland, who's a receiver, looks like he's been bulking up. Look, he's going to be the running back this year. Obviously, last year was Tommy Lafayette, but looks like he's going to be the lead runner for them this year. Already been getting reps at running back. So that'll be interesting to watch. And then North Forsyth, should be a team to watch. And then West Forsyth, I really like what they do as far as the quarterback's young, 2026, so he'll be a junior this year. And I like their linebacking core. It's underrated, but James McCallum, some of those guys that got on that side of the ball in the front seven is really, really good. So they're going to be a team to watch as well. But that's the latest in all the news. We're going to take one more quick short break, take our sponsor, and conclude with the top 10 headlines.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation. Unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
All right, guys, welcome back. So to close out the show, top 10 headlines for the weekend presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. So we'll go ahead and get into it. At number one, top performances from this past week, and that is going to actually start with some of the top guys. So we will take a look at some soccer. That's girls soccer. That's for my show on Tuesday. We'll look at track and field. Obviously, we talked about him earlier, but Najeh of Westlake boys track and field, he took home the gold in the 200 meter at the 7A Region 2 meet. He ran a PR personal record of 20:67, as we talked about earlier, which is currently the fastest time in the state and fourth fastest in the nation. So he took home the gold in the 400 meter with a time of 46:07. And then you have Malachi Yuta of Langston Hughes. He set an amazing PR in the high jump of 7:1, taking home gold at 6A Region 5 meet, which is his new PR. He now has the best jump in the state and second in the entire nation. Malachi with a 7:1 high jump score. That's obviously incredible. And we'll mention two baseball players. We'll start with Cherokee Bluff. Caleb Davis in game versus Woodland, he had let the offensive charge going 2 for 2 with 5 RBIs. And then Jackson Davis of Walker in the final two series games versus Model. Davis played well, as you could have hoped for. After losing game one, he put the team on his back, going 4 for 6 with a single, double, triple, home run, stolen base, and 3 RBI. So pretty much filled up the entire stat sheet there. So those are some of the top performances from this week. At number 2, Allatoona announced their lacrosse summer camp that will be this summer. $75 per person. They're going to have their varsity women's head coach and the varsity men's coach in attendance, Nick Fleming and Jonathan Wishone. The girls' camp session is going to be June 3rd through the 6th, 9 to 11 a.m. The boys' camp session is going to be June 24th through 27th at 6 to 8 p.m. So a great team to go watch. Obviously made it to the state championship last year. And the team has been loaded with talent and producing them at a high level. All right, number 3, we'll go to Warner Robins, a team that is going to have a lot of people's eyes this year with Rashawn Dinkins, obviously Isaiah Gibson, and all the crew. It seems like year in, year out, they always have some top talented players coming in. But their spring ball, they announced it on their Twitter at Robins Football 1. So practice is going to be every day at 3:30 p.m. And they're going to have a red versus white game at Perry High Stadium at 6:30. So they're going to have practices May 2nd, May 3rd, May 6th, May 7th, May 9th, May 10th, May 13th, May 14th, May 16th, and then the red versus white scrimmage on May 17th. So a team to watch, and we'll have a lot of people in attendance, I'm sure. All right, number 4, we'll go to hoops. So if you guys don't know, obviously, this is a big time for summer hoops, right? You obviously have 3 different circuits. You have the Under Armour circuit, you have the 3SSB, which is Adidas, and then you have Nike EYBL. But one of the top talented players here in the country that's in the state of Georgia, and that is Caleb Wilson. Obviously will be the most heavily recruited guy coming in this year. He's going to be running with Knight Riders Elite and 17U EYBL. So the reason why that's significant is because they have Caden Boozer, they have Cameron Boozer, and then you add this type of talent to the team that he's going to run with the rest of the time. I mean, that definitely says a lot as to, how elite that team's going to be. So I wouldn't be surprised if they win a couple championships. Having him at the helm with what he's able to do, we saw what he did in the state finals, being able to ball out, scoring at a high level, 20-plus points, efficient shooter, can defend at a high level, can score the basketball at a high level. So I thought that was interesting to see him running with them. So it'll be a name to see and watch as we continue. At number 5, Zealous Hicks. He's set to play, and I think this is interesting. So, Craig, I know you remember a few years ago, Travis Hunter, right? He played in the Polynesian Bowl. So, Zealous Hicks actually got invited to this same event 3 years later, and he is set to play at the at the Polynesian Bowl, which is played on the NFL Network. So, I thought that was super dope to kind of see that. That obviously caught my eye. But what do you remember from like a few years back with him playing? I remember Travis playing in a couple things.
He played in at Steel Chambers
Yeah, so it's a little ways away, obviously in Hawaii, but I thought that was an interesting headline to see Zealous getting selected to play in this and set to play in this Polynesian Bowl, which will obviously give him great exposure and obviously seen a great talent. Number one player in the country 3 years ago, Travis Hunter, also played in this event, so I thought that was cool. And then number 6, Clinch County has named their new head coach after replacing their former head coach, who went 11-2. So the new coach is going to be Jim Dickerson. He won 5 state titles at South Georgia School before retiring after the 2018 season. Led the program again after parting ways with former coach Don Tisson Jr. this past week. Dickerson won state titles in the first season, 2004, and was thought to be his last in 2018. Also won championships in 2017, 2015, and 2010. Was 155, 42-1 in his 15th season. So go check that out. I believe Georgia High School Football Daily had a story on that. You can get the full intel there. So definitely we'll be moving in a new direction. But had a good year last year, won 11-2. And I think the one that's probably one of the biggest ones here, obviously, Roswell Allatoona is one of them. But the story out of North Murray, Craig was supposed to have their coach on, but I think we are lining up, ironically, with the same story, and that is Judson Petty. He set the record, actually, guys, this past year with the most receiving yards in a game, right? Petty had 360 yards in August game against Pickens this past year. For the season, he caught 67 passes, 1,407 yards, and 14 touchdowns with an average of 21 yards per catch. He also rushed for 518 yards and 6 touchdowns on 89 carries. And on defense, he was a full-around star, amassed 110 tackles, snagged 2 interceptions as well. So the reason I bring him up is because he actually was not even going to go to college. He said per quote on dailycitizen.news that I was dead set on not even going to college, but he ended up receiving a call from Georgia Tech and ended up offering him a roster spot and also a partial scholarship to attend the school. So he received the offer earlier this month, committed to the program a few days later, and then he made his final decision this past Wednesday, signed up with Georgia Tech in a ceremony at North Murray's Library. Their head coach, Preston Pogue, said, "I'm so proud of him. If I had one guy to sit up there and say this is what Mountaineer football looks like, it would be him." Obviously, he had offers from smaller schools, but it was big-time college football. I'll have finally the opportunity to do it. This past year, he was named Daily Citizen's All-Area Player of the Year after his senior season in 2023. And obviously, like I said, he set those records in football this past year as well. And what was interesting is when he played for Preston Pogue, obviously for North Murray, he also wore 15, which is what Ladd McConkey wore for them as well. And obviously, we know Ladd's story went on to play at Georgia, and then he ended up being selected this past draft as number 34 by the Los Angeles Chargers. So I think that is super cool. Obviously, a great story for both of them, and it could be one of those stories. Obviously, he probably won't play to start off. Judson won't, but it kind of mirrors the same story. Like when Ladd came out, he didn't play his first because he take time, but being able to kind of see them on the kind of same trajectory, right, setting records, putting that number 15 number on the map for North Murray, obviously, it could be a great story on both sides. Two guys to bring it up on the show. All right, number 8, a couple more Gwinnett grads was added to the Gwinnett Hall of Fame. Some new nominees is former South Gwinnett and Georgia Bulldogs quarterback David Green, North Gwinnett grad and former Clemson offensive tackle Mitch Hyatt, and Brookwood grad and former Georgia center Kurt McGill are the newest additions to this year's 100-person ballot. They joined Decula grad Terry Harvey, a former North Carolina State quarterback who's on the ballot for the second year. Biggest headlines is Roswell defeating Allatoona for the second consecutive year. And then Ezra Miller comes up with a huge goal with 22 seconds left to lead them past Allatoona and go into the semifinals. Roswell won it all last year in that one as well. So basically entering the fourth quarter, the score was tied 5-5 for Roswell before they broke the tie with a goal by Caden Parla with 11:24 left in the game. Brandon Fountain's goal with 6:46 left. Knotted up at 6-all, but Roswell bounced back with a score from Blake O'Neal to put the Hornets back ahead 7-6. Greg Keeley's goal with 2:28 tied the game at 7-7, obviously before Miller ended up hitting the game-winning goal with 22 seconds left. This is what head coach Allatoona said. He said it was a great game. I mean, it was a heavyweight match. We had a chance to win it at the end and didn't get it done, but I'm proud of my guys. They fought the whole way. They fought all season. They beat us by 8 goals earlier in the year. Just a testament to the guys' work, starting with the senior class and coming to work every day, getting better. They executed the game plan.